My dear friends, so today we will discuss about the lecture 4 of sequence and series. So earlier we have discussed about lecture 3, right? Where we have discussed some properties of sequences. And we have seen that one of the things, means one of the questions. So I hope that you have done them. And now we focus on some important sequences. Let's see that. So we are having VAS sequence, which is Cauchy sequence. So for that, we try to see that a sequence xn is Cauchy if for each epsilon, if you are able to find out some n naught, right? So first of all, what is the motivation behind this thing? What is the motivation behind Cauchy sequence? That is we need to see, right? So for that, we recall the general definition of the Cauchy sequence. So, what was that? Can you recall that? That was clarifying that if xn converges to x, in that case, if xn goes to x, then you are discussing about this thing, xn minus x bond, right? You are discussing about xn minus x bond, and which comes out to be lesser than epsilon for all n greater than equal to n naught. In that case, it was lesser than epsilon. But here in the Cauchiness, however, we are discussing about the difference between the two terms, or we are discussing the difference between the uh, two terms, say xn and xm of our sequence. So, so when you will say that this difference means xn and xm difference between them is less than epsilon, right? So, or distance between two terms is less than epsilon. So that is Cauchiness, right? So for that you say a sequence in R is Cauchy. If for each epsilon, for every epsilon, you are able to get some n naught in again in natural number. It depends on epsilon. Such that for all mn greater than equal to n naught, you have this thing, right? This one. Mod xn minus xm is less than epsilon. The condition is that after n naught, all terms, all the differences between the respective terms, any terms. So for suppose n naught is 5, and you take n to be 7 and m to be 8, m to be 8. So you can choose m or n greater than equal to 5, or n naught in general way. So that will say that the difference between them is less than epsilon. So that is the definition of a Cauchy sequence, or graphically you can see that. So it means whenever you say that your sequence is Cauchy, then you're able to find means if you take 1 by 2, suppose epsilon is 1 by 2, then you can see that you will find a possible n naught which is a natural number, such that after this term n naught, you will see that difference between the terms xn and xm is less than 1 by 2. That is a very big thing, right? So you can also see it graphically in that way. So what it is saying, agar if a sequence is Cauchy, then for each epsilon greater than 0, so we can deduce something from this definition. So what is it saying, that if for each epsilon greater than 0, you are able to find some natural number such that for all n greater than equal to n naught, you have this thing. Mod xn plus 1 minus xn is less than epsilon, right? Because you see, this is coming from the definition itself. Why? Because xn minus, as you see, xm, you can take m to be n plus 1 anyways. And if n is greater than equal to n naught, then m will be greater than equal to n naught, because m is here at, it is n plus 1 in that case. So you see that, so you're able to find some n naught such that after this term, this difference between xn plus 1 and xn is coming out to be lesser than epsilon, right? So a very important thing about is that this definition, this second definition, is it is not definition, but it is deducing from the definition of Cauchy sequence. It is, however, useful in some questions. We will see that. Right. The next thing is that, can you give some examples? Right? Can you give some examples? This is one. So for the examples, we will see that Cauchy sequence is convergent, right? Let's see. So we are having this thing, that a real convergent sequence is Cauchy, right? So if you consider any convergent sequence, any real convergent sequence is again Cauchy, right? And in fact, any real sequence is Cauchy if and only if it is convergent. So if we are considering our domain in or our range set of our sequence in the real line, then you will see that it Cauchy is equivalent to convergence. It is very important. So if someone asks you to prove the Cauchy sequence, to prove that a sequence is Cauchy, you can always do by looking at by verifying that your sequence is convergent, right? And you see that any Cauchy sequence is bounded. Why is this possible? Because you know that any every Cauchy sequence is convergent and hence bounded, right? In that case. So for real line it is true, but the equivalence part for general range set is not valid. It means for complex set or any other set, it is not valid for general one. So it depends, right? So because we are dealing with real analysis, so we have to take the range set to be R. In that case, Cauchy is equivalent to convergent, right? So we will discuss of one example. Okay, so can you recall some proof of them that any real convergent sequence is Cauchy? Can you see that? Right, because it follows from the by definition of convergent sequence. You say a sequence is convergent, xn is convergent to x, and you have to show xn minus xm, right? You take xn minus xm, and you try to see, you try to connect that this xn minus xm mod, you try to form it lesser than epsilon, right? In that way you can see that. And you can see this from the thing that xn converges to x, then xm also converges to x. So you can take epsilon by 2 distance, and then you can choose your suitable n naught to be the maximum of the corresponding to epsilon by 2, both the cases, and then you can verify the first part, which is this one. And second one, you can see this one. You know that convergent is Cauchy, so you have to prove Cauchy is convergent, right? So for that, you need some trick, right? You need to form some set E. That was a hint. Although you can study this proof from Esco Marson book that is easily available, but it is fine. If you remember the statement, it is fine enough. Okay. So for third one, any Cauchy sequence is bounded. It immediately follows from convergent sequence because every convergent sequence is bounded, as we have proved earlier on. And so can you tell me if xn is a Cauchy sequence of integers, can you see how the sequence look like? Means what will be the sequence? So you will see that if Cauchy sequence is of integers, means entries are integers, then you try to see the difference between two terms. Suppose s is the first term and second one is n, then you try to see the difference between them, and you will see the difference between them is basically zero, right? You can't make it less than epsilon unless it is zero difference, right? So in that case, you will see that the sequence is eventually going to be zero. Eventually, or you say that eventually it is going to be 2 2. It can be 2 2. It can be C for any C. So it is eventually constant sequence. So in that case, you say that it is eventually constant. Why is that case? Because you see that difference between two terms, you have to make it less than epsilon. If you choose epsilon equal 1 by 2, then after certain and not, the difference between each term should be less than epsilon, right? So 1 by 2. But you know that sequence elements are integers. So when you will make the difference less than 1 by 2, when the two terms are itself same, right? In that case, after and not, all the terms will be going to be constant. Is it fine? Okay, so let's move on. Now we have some questions regarding this. Some questions on Cauchy sequence. So for that, first one is saying that if you are given a sequence which satisfies this condition, this mod xn plus 1 minus xn is less than or equal to c times mod xn minus 1 for some constant c lies between 0 to 1, then you have to show your xn is convergent. So how will you show this? You can use the induction process, right? In that case. Right. So you consider xm minus xn. Listen my words. You consider mod xm minus xn and try to write down, because your m is greater than n, you try to write down n plus n, n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus m till you reaches m, right? N plus n minus m, m plus m minus n till you reaches m, right? In that case, and then you try to because you will get a sum of these terms, sum of these terms, x mod xn plus 1 minus xn. Then you merge them all and apply this thing. Then you, by induction process, you will see that your xn is uh, means the mod xn minus xm is coming out to be less than equal to some constant times this one mod x1 minus x2. Then you can argue from that way that your xn is convergent. For second one, you see that the limit of this sequence is 0. The limit of this sequence is 0. Hence, you can apply the same thing, that convergent, xn is convergent, and hence xn has to be Cauchy by the equivalence criteria that we have followed. And for third one, you can do the same way. You can apply the as in the first part, as same as in first part, and then you can prove xn is Cauchy. So these tell us alternate ways to check the Cauchiness of sequence. So you can either check your Cauchiness by the second and third, that will be beneficial. Although first tells us also the one way, that is also a very good way to see. So if C is strictly less than 0, greater than 0 and less than 1, then you will see that your xn is convergent in that case. Okay, fine. It is fine for you. Right. So these are very important questions, I would say, again. Okay, so let's move on to some new topic, right? So which is monotone sequences. So what do you mean by monotone? Monotone means either increasing or decreasing, right? So when you say your sequence of real numbers is increasing, if for each natural number you say this is means terms xn, you consider xn and you consider xn plus 1. If xn is lesser than equal to xn plus 1, then you say for each n. If it is happening, then you are saying that your sequence is basically uh, what you say, it is basically going to be increasing sequence, right? And what is the idea is that because we will prove some equivalent criteria, means if your sequence is convergent, in that case you will see that it is going to be boundedable. If your increasing sequence is convergent, then it is equivalent to show that your sequence is boundedable. So first one, what we will see that how to show that an increasing sequence is bounded. You know, for us, you proving the sequence to be bounded, then you have to show that it has upper bound and it has lower bound also. So for increasing sequence, we don't know. You know already that x1, you see for increasing sequence, x1 less than equal to x2, less than equal to x3 and x. So x1 is a lower bound and you don't know about upper bound. So you have to find only upper bound. So it's enough to show xn is bounded above. And okay, so for boundedness of increasing sequence, so it's just a relaxment, right? You have to show that your xn is bounded above, because you know xn is bounded below itself. And for decreasing sequence, you can always define like decreasing sequence. In this case, you have to show that your xn is what? Bounded. So to show that xn is bounded, you need to show that xn is bounded below in that case. Okay. So for strictly increasing sequence, we say that your xn is strictly less than xn plus 1, means equal to sign is gone up. Equal to sign was flush up, just to say. So that is the only property. It is for all n in n. And so when you say your xn is an increasing sequence, then it is convergent if and only if it is boundedable. That we have also remarked. How will you prove this? One part is trivial, that if increasing and convergent, then bounded. Other part you have to show increasing, bounded, and convergent. You can use the fact that your xn is bounded above, then it has supremum in R, and you can say suppose L is the supremum, then you will claim that xn will converge to L, right? So for that you consider L minus L epsilon is not a supremum. So L minus epsilon, for that you will find some natural number such that xn is greater than L minus epsilon. Then you will see that after this term, all the whole are greater than equal to n, because it is an increasing sequence. You can always uh, find some other natural number, say an xn1. So it's the situation will look like L minus epsilon is less than xn naught, suppose xn1, and it will be less than if xn is less than xl plus epsilon in that case. So you will see that L is xn is going to converge to L. Again, I recommend you to read this. I have given some idea, but you should read from S. Kumarasamy. I am following this book. Okay, so that is one thing. So it is very important, right? For increasing sequence, convergence is equivalent to bounded above. And for decreasing sequence, for decreasing also you can replace it by decreasing. So for decreasing sequence, convergence is if and only if it is bounded below, right? It will be below. For in place of above, it will be below. I don't have a pen. Okay. So now there are some questions, right? So these are very important questions. First one, you see that it is going to be, it is ratio test, right? You can see it is ratio test somehow for sequences. Right. So if xn plus 1 by xn, it is a positive, it is very important to consider positive real number sequence. And try to consider xn plus 1 by xn, which converges to L. If your L is less than 1, then you have to show xn is going to 0. Right, you can apply, I would say you read this proof from Bartle book. It is provided there in, I think, section 3.2. You can see that in Bartley book, although it's very easy proof, right? Because you can use the property that mod xn plus 1 by xn minus L is less than epsilon. And you can shift your, means you can write xn plus 1 is less than some c times xn. Like in that case, you will see by induction again, by iterative process again, sorry, then you will see that xn will goes to 0, right? And the second one is the consequence of first one. You can apply the first thing, this one. You can apply the first one in this proof, because you see here it is xn is given particular. You can apply this result, and you will see that xn plus 1 by xn is less than 1. Means xn plus 1 by xn is converging to 0 in that case, and 0 is less than 1. So xn converges to 0 by first part. So try to prove. I have given some idea. Try to prove. Okay. So that is some idea. Right. So that is very important questions. I would say these are very important questions. You need to understand them at all. Okay. So thank you very much for today. And these are very much important questions that we have discussed. Actually, the monotone sequences, this theorem that we have said that every monotone sequence is convergent if and only if it is bounded above or below. That depends on the monotonicity, right? So, and Cauchy sequence is equivalent to convergence. So I have provided some questions that are again very good for JAM. So be prepared, and I would say don't forget to subscribe again for IITN Talks, because I will be updating more videos. Okay. So thank you very much, right? See you soon later. Bye.